Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Now let's create a new project. You guys go to your file and new assembly project. And then I think yesterday you created it already, right? Let me give it int underscore test. Then next, and then collection name is the same and finish. It created and my this look and feel will be different because it's iOS. Just don't think that why you are not able to see your stuff like this. This is test. And if you double click on your assembly, it will be this blank thing here. This is where you will do your integration stuff, right? Designing and all that. Yesterday what we covered, we just saw the different tabs that we have Project Explorer. Then if you click on the assembly, that's the main area where you do connect your components, and all that palette is the place where you have different components and then different tabs here. Cloud Explorer is the one where you use to connect to the cloud. Then you have the Problems tab. It will tell you about any errors or warnings. Properties is something. Whenever you open a component, click on that and comes to the Property tab. That's where you do the configuration. XPath Explorer is more about once you have an XML file, it helps you in finding the XPath of a particular field. Schema Explorer is for the Workday Web Services. And Process Monitor and Consolidated Report. Here is something when you run the integration from Studio. These two tabs help you in checking the status and the performance. Yep, that's what we covered yesterday. It was a quick summary. Now let's see how it works. Let me try searching this int underscore test. Do I have anything here? I have many integrations with this name. It's MasterCard and all that. I think let me change the name. How do we change the name? It is click on this right click. And then there is something called refactor, and then rename. I'm going to test underscore studio. It will just rename it. Rename the project. Now, whenever you have to start a Workday integration, it always starts with a Workday in component. This is the very first component that every integration will have. Right. And whenever, by default, you drag and drop it, the name which it shows on here is called start here. Right. That's the place from where the integration starts. After that, you have many components like this and that and. It can be anywhere. Right. You just drag and drop. It goes anywhere, but then to make it look beautiful. Right? One thing which I recommend and everybody should do is you use a swim lane. Swim lane helps you in formatting or aligning the components. Then you drag and drop your stuff into the swim lane. Now, if you have your studio open, I want you to try. Just play around, put things here like this. It will automatically align. And then once you click on the swim lane and go to the properties part of it, you will see the different options here. By default, it is horizontal, meaning any component you will drag and drop in a swim lane will go horizontal, but you can change it. You can do a vertical one, right? And alignment, again, you can change the medium one. Plus, you can fill colors also. Fill colors. Colors. Fill color. I will choose this one. Select. By you, guys will have very simple. Oh, it got it there, right? That's the colors and same as the font. Font. You see here swim lane. You can change that and make it big and bold, and that's it close. This helps him. Now say you want these two components to be in horizontal and this one in parallel. Then what do? You can have a swim lane within a swim lane. You put a swim lane and then you put the two components into that and make that as like this one is horizontal and this one is vertical. Right? That's how you can align stuff. Let me delete now. Let me start with again Workday in. But before that, what I'll do is I'll put a swim lane, put this one into this, and then all the components in Workday. You can rename now the swim lane. I will write it. It is the Test Studio integration. I can make it this one as bold. Well, now let's see the start here. Start here. You can also change the name, just same like your file name. Change any file name on your desktop. You change it by clicking on it twice. Right, same thing. Integration starts here. Now, once you click on this Start Here component, which is Workday, and you see first is the common, which is nothing. They're then advanced. You see here integration system name. Whatever thing you will mention here will be the name of the integration in the tenant. Now here I'll put it in space test, space studio. Right? This name can have spaces, but a component name cannot have spaces. An integration, a project name cannot have spaces. But if you want your integration name to be in a very specific one, spaces and all that stuff, this is the place. I want you to pay close attention to the name of the project that we have created. It is int underscore test underscore studio, while in this start here in the advanced tab, we have the integration name as int space test space studio. And then you have the launch parameters. This is the place where we can add launch parameters. We will do it later, not now. And then we have different services which we can enable, right? We have attribute and map service, delivery service, listener, and all that stuff. We don't use retrieval and delivery service here. We do it via business process on the front end. But yes, attribute and map service is very common. Sequence generator is common. Transaction log. Now report service a yes, custom object service medium. And then data initialization, no service reference. We will see that as we see the use cases. But first component is this right. And then there is another component which you need to remember is this put integration message right. When you drag and drop this one, it by default selects severity and summary. You just have to click on finish and then on this property of this one, you see message severity as info and summary as whatever message you want. You put integration message is used to print show a message on the integration event. When you see an integration completed, what does it show? It shows either successfully completed or completed with warning or completed with errors, right? And then the summary. Here, summary is something what you want to show the message. You put it here in quotes and then put any message integration completed nicely. I'll put this one right. And then severity, it can be info. Info means integration will complete successfully. If you put error, integration will complete with error. If you put warning, integration will complete with 1. Now you will say, how do we know this? What to put? Every component here has a help thing at the bottom. If you click on that, it will open up right now. It's opening up for me here, but if you click on it, it will open up it in Studio, the put integration message. If I come to the summary, this one here it is, you can put critical error info warning. Now let's start with info. I'll keep this info and keep this one, and this one I will have to. You can just put your mouse on this component. It shows up 2 arrows and then you have to just drag and connect it to the next one. That's it. And then I'll click on save right, it's connected and save. Now for this integration. This integration which I've created is on my local right. I have to put it in the cloud. Let me first go to the tenant and show you that. Do I haven't test anything? Sudo. There is nothing as Studio right. Now let me deploy it. How to deploy an integration is you click on that project and then click on this button here at the top, deploy to Workday. Or you do a right click and then you will have deployed to Workday. You can do it either ways. Click on that, select your tenant to which you are connected, click on next and then make sure that your project is here and then click on finish right. It will give you the first time that it is your responsibility what you are deploying and all that, and you have to say I agree because you have no other option. And then it will show a pop up at the bottom right saying deployed. Now, if you go to the tenant and just click on enter here now, it should show up right now. If you see, the name of the integration is in Space Test, Space Studio, right? What is the name here in this property? Property view. In the advanced, it is in Space Test, Space Studio, right? This is that name. If you can see, the name of the integration is the name of the integration is the name of the integration. If I click on it, it says it's a cloud integration template, meaning it is a studio. Whenever the integration template is cloud integration, it is Studio. Now, if you see here Cloud Collection Studio project, it is int underscore test underscore studio, which is nothing. But our project name is something which gets uploaded here. And this is where you see the cloud write.co cloud archive file, which has everything the executable. Now, since we have done this integration, now let's try running it. If you know how to run, it is integration, launch, click on and then refresh. It should complete very quickly. Refresh, it should be done. Now, if you see the status is completed right, and if I click on the messages, it says integration completed. Nicely. And now let me change this one. Every time you do any change, you have to deploy properties and you go to put integration message as advanced instead of info. I will now put it as error and I will save it and I will deploy it right. Now you guys have to try this. Try, the more you deploy, the more you change and do stuff. It will help you. It will remove your fear of Studio, else it will be a big thing. Now, if I launch it, I will take more time in the basics, building your fundamentals. Then after that will be easy. Learning the alphabets A, B, C, D takes time, but then after that reading books will be easy. Now if you see it's completed with error, and why it completed with error? Because the put integration message has the severity as error, right? If you now do it, right? If you now do it, warning save it, and then deploy right now. If have to just relaunch this one now, you see it will complete with warning. It says completed with warning and the message is nice. Now let's see this. This one I want you guys to see say it's a very common thing as you're writing it right. Suppose you miss the spelling right. Instead of warning, you wrote warring and then you deploy it and then you run right. This is something which I want you to face. These are the common errors which people do while building, while testing. Now it's deployed and integration launch. Let's see what's the status. Will be completed with errors right away. And what does it say? It says integration failed. The local in transport put integration message property name has failed. Using expression critical debug error info contains something different. Right, this is how Workday delivered messages. By reading this, you should know that there is some issue with message dot severity property. Straight away, you will go there and you will know that. It's message severity. Let me change it to 1, then save it, and then deploy again. Every time you do a change, it has to be deployed. Now let's see one more thing of this. Start here. Prop thing. You see the launch parameters. What is the launch parameter like? When you run a report, you get something prompts, right? Yes, same thing. In integration, you can give user that ability that when someone runs it, it should be prompted for some values. Like if you have run core connector worker integration, it has these dates parameter, right? Yes, same stuff here. But here we can configure our own. Let me show you now. Click on the plus here. You have three types here. One is the simple type, one is the reference type, and third is the animation type. Write simple type. Let's see. You give a name like what parameter do you want? I want it to be say a date or say from data. Then type you have to select. It's a date, then default value. If you want to give any, you can give. Else you can write then now say I want an enumeration type, right? You can give select value, right? Enumeration now type name. Here you say you can add the values. Here say Monday, Tuesday, I keep these three. And then you have another type, which is this one reference type. Here, say you want something from the tenant, right? A drop down from the workday values. For example, say you have gender, right? For gender, what will be the value in your tenant? You will have some configuration values, right? Say you want the user to choose that. In that case, what do? Is you click on this and then you can put your field or it's not here, but put it here in the name or just put craft name and then put gender and next it will search for all the gender fields related to that then and you can read the description general as gender associated with what gender. Associated with what gender of a worker. Let's check that. If I click on next, it says male, female, not declared. Yep, fine, finish. I'll say controls. I'll save it and then deploy it. Since as of now, I'm not implementing any functionality, I just want to show you how the launch parameters will look like now. It says failed. Its error returned 500 validation error. The entered value does not meet the restrictions defined for this field. Now, this kind of error is something very weird. You are getting it while deploying, right? What I can do is I can select the layer to add a new entry. Let me delete this one. Save it again and then deploy save. Select this and finish. Now let's see. Now it's deployed. I think this was an error. How do we hear? There is this preferences. I don't know. I'm also a window user, but this one is my personal one. It's not a window user, but that's fine. If you don't have it, you have to manually include it and then select this one and finish. Now see, let's try running it right. And this is your integration. Go to related action and then launch the data input. Once I click on, you see it is asking me the date inputs. Yep. And then here you see all the values which I gave as an immigration is coming and then and done. Then it will run the normal. Now the main logic that will happen is, say you have got this one, but then how to read this? Because if, say, the launch parameter is there, it will make sense only if you are using it in your logic somewhere, right? Else it is of no use. Now we will see, I think we'll start it tomorrow, of how to, what code to write there and all that stuff. If you know that in any general coding, we do this right handling. And if there is any error, we do handle that catching of errors right. For that one, there is a component and you have to, whatever integration you're doing, you have to just drag and drop it here, no connection needed, and it's called global error handling. This one, you have to just drag and drop it here and next and finish, that's it. And to better make it look good, it's always put it in a swim lane. Yep, put it here and then just and name this swim lane as global error, right? What happens is, if, say, in case you have not done any error handling in this, some unacceptable handled error occurs. It will be handled via this and your integration will show that message. It's mostly about the delivered stuff and to make them again align. Now, if you see, the swim lane can also go anywhere. What normally we do is we have a master swim lane outside and then we put every swim lane into that, all right, and make it as vertical like this. In the global error handler and then the global error handler, two things always need to be there. And then my kind of stuff is, I generally fill a color in this one, probably an orange one, just to make sure that it is an error handler, or you can make it red and all that. Now, tomorrow, what we will start tomorrow is the basic understanding of how the message flows from in a studio from one component to another. We will spend good amount of time on that logic because that's the basic. That basic thing is not clear to most of the studio developers, but if you understand that, it will be very helpful in designing the integration. Normally, when you see these arrows, right, that means this is a flow of a message. Something will happen here and then it will go there. Something will happen and go there. In this, we will see how to declare variables, how to copy the message, and all that stuff. We will see that. And apart from the what else, yes, one more important stuff is exporting and importing our clerk. Exporting of a clerk is if you have a tenant, right, you can directly go to your clerk there and then click on it. It will get downloaded, right. Now, wherever it is downloaded. You can go to your studio and then right click on your Project Explorer and import, and then again the browse and the same clerk selected, and it will get imported in your stuff. That's how you do it. When say an integration is developed by someone else, you can go to the Cloud Explorer. And now you can go to the Cloud Explorer and now you have to work on it. That's the one way of doing it right. What's the other way? You go to Cloud Explorer now, the tenant to which you are connected, right? You click on that arrow on the left. What it will show is all the integrations that are there in this tenant, all the studio integrations, right? And if you want to deploy one of them into or bring one of them into your Project Explorer, you just click on that, right click and import source. And now this cloud, once you click on finish, it will come into your clear file, how to import clouds, how to export clouds, how to see what all integrations are there in the tenant. Then the global error handler start here and it will put integration message. Now what I want you guys to do is try doing all this stuff, especially the put integration message, and put all the 4 types info, save it, deploy it, run it. Then warning, save it, deploy it and run error. Save, deploy, run. That way you will get to know stuff, and then also you'll get the fluency and the confidence of deploying and running. And one more thing is, yep, I forgot to tell, is you can run this from Studio itself. And then to run this, you have to go to your Cloud Explorer and find your integration, which is this one, right? Then again, click on this arrow, and then until you get to the start here, then do a right click and launch integration. Right now, launch integration. If there are launch, parameter will come up here and then you click on launch. Now it is launching. It is long now. You see the process monitor tab got opened automatically and it is saying processing and it completed. Now, if you double click on it, it will open up a log that what happened and all that stuff. That's it. Integration completed with warning. That the status is this right, and this consolidated report viewer will show that load from workspace. It shows the component and the duration. Right now it is not. It is not, but then it will. That's fine that you can check that later, but that's how did you again to tell you if you go to Cloud Explorer, right? Go to the integration first. The tenant, go to the integration again. Click on that arrow until you get to start here, right? Click on that and then you will have the integration launch. This launch integration step. Try doing both, running it from the tenant and running it from the studio. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.